Welcome to the NC Spin After Spin. Additional comments from our panelists just available on our website. Rick Henderson, I want to ask you, what do you wish you had said on last week's show, but you didn't?
Well, the show was so jam-packed that as we were talking about the 9th Congressional District, we didn't really get to talk a lot about the alternatives if there are new elections. And you sort of touched on it a little bit, the fact that the State Board of Elections could order it. But if the State Board of Elections did order a new election, what the board members would have to do is would have to put the old candidates back on the ballot again. So you would have Dan McCready versus Mark Harris versus the Libertarian who ran there. And I don't think the State Board of Elections wants to do that necessarily, even though—
Well, they don't have any choice, do they?
Well, if they call for a new election themselves, if they kick it to the House of Representatives, and the House of Representatives can sort of start the process all over again, and I think we need a reset at this point. I really do.
So the timeline here is such that we're not going to have a decision on this before the new House leadership is seated.
Yeah, and
in which case the Democrats take over,
right.
And they've already indicated they don't want to seat Mark Harris.
They don't, but then in the past when this has happened, there have been a couple of instances over the past few decades where you've had situations where they wouldn't seat a member of Congress, and when that's happened, then what usually happens is they appoint a bipartisan Board of Administration to look at this. It's typically evenly divided between Republicans and Democrats, and they actually conduct a brief investigation that both candidates, both parties get to present their case, and then they decide whether they're going to seat the member or call for a new election.
So your prediction that this is going to be resolved next spring is looking more and more and more unlikely.
I think it's the chance. Well, they can do that pretty quickly. At the point that they call the new election, the timetable then becomes, okay, how much time do we have to allow for voting to abide by federal law?
And God forbid we get back into absentee ballots. Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.